Hi, my name is Cindy Rang.
I'm Brianna Motzkus, and today's day 7.
Of our 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes.
All right, and it's a Bargello quilt.
It's a Bargello quilt, and I've redeemed myself. I followed a pattern.
Followed a pattern.
You're welcome. Beginner Bargello. I did it all. I followed the directions. I even cut you a kit.
She did.
So
She did. This is, now, many of you guys know, we've talked about this pattern a lot. This is one of our more popular patterns. This is Brittany's go-to quilt.
Favorite one.
Super, super simple, really easy. It takes 8 quarter-yard cuts. If you want to make a big one, it takes 8 half-yard cuts. Yeah. Super, super simple, and it always has these stunning results. It really looks like you sweat a bunch making it. Slaved. Yeah. And so it really is nice, and there's quite a sense of accomplishment when you're done, and it's really just strip sewing. So it's really, really nice. And so she also did a video, a tutorial on how to do it. Yes. It will air next, and little just chat between friends. We had the panel upside down. So if you squint, it doesn't look right. It's totally right.
It's you got to flip in your head, squint and flip the bottom
Squint
one.
and flip.
Yeah. What you didn't see is I had it right the first time. I just couldn't figure out how to turn it to make it fit, and then be like, oh, we got to move it down. It was
Too late.
Fly on the wall. So don't comment that it's wrong.
Just today. No commenting.
You should let me know though. So when you see it, I was making the panels and it was driving Robert crazy that my prints are plaids and stripes, and I did not care. I just cut a 4-inch strip and then sew it together because that does not bother
You don't
me.
mix plaids and stripes.
Oh, it was going to give him a aneurysm. So you'll have to put in your comments if you're someone who, no, stay away from plaids because it makes my eye twitch.
I had to look away.
Yeah, so I apologize for that because Robert was having a tizzy. He's like, that's
What
not
was he doing in your sewing room?
I don't talking. He's like, that's not going to stay in our house, is it? He's like, yeah, Wyatt's
making
going
this
to
for you.
snuggle it. Was for you, not no more. So, yeah, it was funny.
Men.
I know. Okay, so what your special is today are Beginner Bargello kits.
She cut these for you.
I did.
She did such a good job. In a couple colorways.
And a couple colorways. So there's about 30 kits. There's quite a few that I actually cut. They're all out of the Tango collection. There are about 7 that are identical to this one. The rest of them are still beautiful. They might have the same Bargello front, but your borders might change. This ivory is the same in every single kit. But this outer border might change. You get to choose that, if you can see that. Your wild card piece, you're just going to have to love when you get it, is your binding. You don't get to see in your kit what your binding is because I think there are not 2 bindings the same. But I do show in the video, you have, when you cut your strips out, you can do scrappy binding. And my sample has scrappy binding.
I love that.
I love a good scrap. And then you don't have to feel like you're not wasting a bunch of fabric. So I did scrappy binding. You have the option of doing that, or you do have a half a yard for real binding. Promise it looks good. I made it for you. Or there's another colorway that has this as the Bargello, and of course your outer border is gonna vary a little bit, but you get to choose those. So they're all.
You have the pictures of everything.
I have a picture of everything. So you
and the
get to
kit
choose.
is very nicely priced. It does have a pattern in it. It comes with the pattern, even if you already have the pattern. Yeah. It's okay.
If you already have the pattern, it is now a stocking stuffer for yours truly.
That's right.
So pay it forward. But that is what your special is today. I will also link below what's left of the Tango collection. There's not much. Because I did cut up as much as I could. I also, when I was cutting up the Willow collection, I will also put on sale. It is a Moda designer. It's not the same. I want to say
it's not the same designer, but the color is
really good. So if you're wanting to put something cool and groovy and in the same color as backing, check out the Willow collection. It's going to have some more greens and teals in it, but it gives you that option because I feel like there is no option for backings out of this. Mine is just a pretty teal. that I had in there, and I feel like it looks good. A lot of you guys ask us about how to do backings or whatever. Pick something pretty. Don't just think, oh, I have it in my stash, it's fine. We've got one of those quilts.
Leftover brown.
That's a beautiful Three Sisters pastel pinks, and I put this hideous green on the back. Thinking, it didn't matter, it was the right size. Don't do it. You know what's under that, and you just can't unknow it. So still put something pretty, but are also...
Let's make 108.
discounted too?
Yeah, let's add that.
There we go.
7.5. Yeah,
Okay.
let's add that to your special for today.
108.
Let's do the 108s. We'll do the 108 category. We'll take 15 to 20. I don't know. Brianne will figure it out. And
be
you'll
discount for it.
automatically discount
Yep.
it, so you don't need a discount code. So that way, so not just for this one, you might not really need 108 by this. This is a twin.
This is about 45 by 65. So if you do, you need a yard and a half if you find something that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Or if you have something in the
Other
works.
things you're finishing. Stock up on your 108s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Have a good day. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
All right. So a beginner Bargello is super fun. If you've never done one, stay with us. It's super easy. It's all strip cut, strip piecing. We are not cutting individual little rectangles and sewing those together. Far easier than that. What you're going to start with is the beginner Bargello pattern. You can get it in the description below. It is either a PDF download or you can purchase a printed pattern. We will show it to you. They are $4.99, a really good deal. There are also other books you can get that are Bargello based. This Jelly Roll Bargello is really nice because it actually starts with, again, pre-cut 2.5-inch strips, and it tells you how to do it. All the Bargellos are kind of done all the same way, like I'm going to show you. It's just how you decide to create the movement of your quilt is what changes every Bargello. So a few different options on how you want to do it, but what we're going to start with is get your pattern and 8 1/4 yard cuts. Now you can see with like the quilts behind me, they're just color. It's not, you know, gradation of color from lights to darks and 28 colors like traditional Bargellos are. It is 8 really pretty colors that you like. You can do 2 extra pieces, do a 1/9 1/2 yard cut for a first border, a yard cut for your outer border, and make it simple. You don't have to make it too complicated. Another way, if you struggle with picking out fabrics, maybe that's not the funnest thing for you to do, shop a collection. Go to your local quilt shop, hit your favorite online store, and find a collection that looks good to you and pick 8 from that. It is gonna look great. Whatever 8 you choose, pick them. Because you can see I went from pink to yellow to teal, and they all have the right color of pink, the right color of teal, because it all came from the same collection. This collection is Tango from Moda, in case you're interested. It is an older collection, so you might luck out, you might find it. But shop a collection. Make it easy. Pick 8. So you're going to take your 8 1/4 yard cuts and you're going to cut 2 4-inch strips off of each one. Now you're going to be left with about 3-ish inches left over. What you can see is, I'll show you towards the end of this one, but I used that extra 3 inches. I cut that into 2.5-inch strips and I used it for a scrappy binding. So you can choose to put that in the scrap bin for a later date. Take that little scrap, change it to 2.5 inches, and then sew it into binding. It was super cute, super easy, and I used every piece of that 1/4 yard cut. Then what you're going to do is you're going to sew in whatever order you want. It does not matter. You will take 1 through 8, and you're going to sew them together. 1/4-inch seam allowance. What's really helpful when you are sewing a bunch of strips together is you're going to start with strip number 1 and strip number 2. You're going to sew your 1/4-inch from top all the way to bottom. Then when you're going to sew on strip number 3, start from the other side. And you're going to do strip 3, 2, and 3 here. So from bottom all the way to top. And then keep doing that back and forth, going other directions. What that does is it helps kind of disperse that stretch a little bit, because even though it's 100% cotton fabric, there's still a little bit of stretch just because of how woven fabric works. If you forget one and 3 of them are going the same direction before your light bulb clicks like, hey, you're supposed to be changing it, it's okay. Don't rip it out. Don't do anything. And then sew your panels together, 1 through 8. You're going to do that twice. You're going to have 2 of these. And then give it a good press. You can kind of press them any direction you want. I definitely say you need to press this step. This is a very important part to do, only because it makes the actually assembling your border, your Bargello piece, a whole lot easier if your seams are nice and pressed. Whether you want to go all one direction or you want to together, apart, press however you want to, press them open, just nice and flat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the cutting table and we're going to cut these apart to start the Bargello. Okay, so after we've pressed it, there's one last step before we start cutting. What you're going to do is just do right sides together, and you're going to sew this into a tube. Take color number 1 and color number 8 and sew 1/4 inch all the way down to create a tube, and then we'll start cutting. Okay, now that we have our flat little tube, we're going to start cutting. So if you refer to your pattern, you will see this little graph paper. We're going to worry about this top half first. The bottom half is the layout, which we will get there. But we're going to start with the top half. And it's going to tell us, this is the panel that we've sewn. And we're going to cut a 2.5 inch strip, a 2 inch, a 1.5 inch strip, a 2 inch strip, a 2, and so on and so forth in this order. So whether you want to mark that with the fabric appropriate pen so you know what size that strip is, layer them, stack them on top of each other, or put a design wall behind you and just pin them up as you go. Just keep them in this order. It'll make it flow better as we create our Bargello. So when we're cutting, you'll have your mat. You can use your 6 by 24 inch ruler if that's easier for you. Or if you happen to have a shape cut, it makes it super slick to use your shape cut. The video up next will be our shape cut demonstration. If you don't have one, it's a little more in-depth on how to use a shape cut. But what's really nice is you've got the lines to be able to line up your tube to make sure everything's going to be straight. And you can cut more than one strip at a time. We can cut our 2.5, and then we can measure over and cut our 2. And then we can measure over and cut our 1.5. We can cut multiple strips at one time, then remeasuring each time. So we're going to go ahead and get those all cut for you, and then we'll put them up on the design wall as we go. Sometimes you might find that you have to re-square up again, just like you do with your regular ruler, and no big deal. You still have that 0 line you can measure off on. Okay, so we got them all cut. There is some leftover. You've got about 4 inches here for some oopsies. So if you have any miscuts, you may have noticed we cut 2 inch in a row. This should have been 2, 1.5 and a 2. So I'm just going to trim that one down. Or if something crazy happens, again, you have a little bit extra off of those 42 inch strips we've sewn together. So that's really, really nice in case there is an issue. You can double check. Now, here comes the Bargelloing of the Bargello part. This is where now our grid comes in. So it's still in the same order of 2.5, 2, so on and so forth. Everything we cut is still the same. Now, only thing that has changed is there's this block that creates that kind of Bargello wave. That block is whatever the coolest print in your tube is. You get to choose. You don't have to choose that when you pick your fabric. This is just that pivot point, whether it's the pink or the really cool floral piece, or the only green piece. It doesn't matter. Whatever one you choose to be that pivot point, it's not really going to be the star of the show, but it's just going to keep you in the right track as we're creating the Bargello. Okay, so we're going to start with our first 2.5 inch strip. And these are my colors. I don't know if you saw that really good when I was showing them off to you. But my pivot color, or my reference color, my blue black on my pattern, it's going to be this really cool print one. And so what you're going to decide is, when you're looking at your pattern here, it's going to be however it works for you. The 4th color from the bottom. So you then have one other color. How do you want to go? Do you want your more of your quilt to be orange green on top and then browns on the bottom? Kind of like how a mountain might be, or darker peaks to a greeny bottom. It kind of depends on how you want to. Or you tear the first one and see what happens, and that's what you're stuck with. For me, I'm going to put the browns at the bottom. So I'm going to go 4 squares up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my 4th one needs to be that reference, that pivot point, my favorite piece. Okay, so we're going to just tear that stitch off. Again, you can do a little tear. Be careful not to put too much stress on your fabric. So you can, of course, get your seam ripper close, some thread snips, whatever you want. And we're just going to cut those stitches. Yes, you can pick your stitches out if you want to, whatever it works. That seam just has to go away. And then what you're left with is you are left with this perfectly open strip. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest of your strip. This strip we're going to put on our design wall. We're just going to give it a little tack. And that's going to be the start of it. So you'll see as you go through it, you'll see this guy will continue to do it. So you can even pin this on your design wall and work off of if you're very visual. It's very easy to kind of know what you're doing next. So we're going to grab our 2-inch strip, and we're now going to go, the 3rd square is going to be it. So I'm just going to go from up here. Look at it here. So we want to go, oops, this way. And it's going to be now the 3rd one. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to tear it. We're going to tear it right down here. So again, we're going to get that stitch out. And lay it up there. And then we're going to go to our 1.5 inches. Lay it up there on our pattern. It's not going to be the 2nd one. So again, we can decide, oh, it's going to be right there. We're going to tear right there. And that's why we do the tube. If we didn't do the tube, that means we'd be taking this seam out and then having to sew it back on the other side. But since we already have a tube, we just have to do the unstitching and not the restitching. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just keep laying this out all the way around, following the fun little diagram that is here on yours. So we've done the first 3 rows, and now it's going to start going back up. So this one keeps going back up. But again, just remember whatever that reference fabric is, that blue square is referenced to one of these. And that's the important thing to keep track of, is that's what's creating that Bargello. So I'm going to keep making all of these strips we already cut into our Bargello behind us. Okay, and here is the last one up. So if you, like this one, started tearing the wrong one, just sew that back up. It doesn't matter. Accidents happen. Just sew it back together. But that is the top half of your Bargello quilt. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take it to the sewing machine, and you're going to take row 1, row 2, whoop, right sides together, and you're going to sew that 1/4 inch all the way down. And with that pressing that you did, your seams are going to automatically want to nestle together to create those perfect points. And then you can press at this spot right here, or go ahead, take row 3 and sew row 3 to row 2 and all the way across. You're going to do that. And then make sure you give it a good press. And then we'll go back to the other room, and I'll show you how to complete this part. Okay, so we've sewn that top panel all the way together, and then we went ahead and cut up and laid out exactly the same way. You are making 2 identical Bargello pieces. And then you can, if you squint real good, you can see that they'll line up perfectly to create that keep on Bargello twist that it's going to give you. So then we're going to sew this one together and then sew this seam, and then your Bargello's done. Everything is finished. You then can do borders and figure out how you want to finish your quilt. So again, if you want to do borders, get a half a yard for your first inner border, and then get 3/4 of a yard for your outer border, and that's going to be like a 4-inch border. And it's super cute. It's just a nice throw size. It's going to finish somewhere around 45 by 65, so a nice throw. What's really cool about the Beginner Bargello pattern is you can make it larger by simply making more Bargello panels. So if you started with 8 half-yard cuts and 4 4-inch strips, you can make 4 of these. You'd have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you would have even a larger quilt. You'd have more of a queen size quilt just by making additional Bargello panels. So this one, again, is made a little bit differently than a traditional Bargello, but again, this is for the beginners. If you've never made a Bargello before and it's on that to-do list, this is the great one to start with. And then move on to one that you have seen at the quilt show, you've gotten a book from a shop hop, and you'll have no trouble understanding what they're trying to tell you of making your strip panels, turning it into a tube, and then cutting it out and laying it out as a diagram shows. So it's a really good one to start, and it's a really easy way to use, whether it's fabric from your closet that you already have, because a 9-inch piece is easy to rustle up. And the other thing you need to know is it has to be a 1/4 yard cut. You need that full 42 inches. A fat quarter is not going to work for you because you need that full length to get that panel together. All right, and that is how you do a Beginner Bargello. So you can see the ones behind me. They're super easy, super fast to make. These are all the 45 by 65. I didn't do any doubles or anything, but you can tell you can do any color arrangement. It doesn't have to flow into the next color. So super fun, super fast to make. I hope you make one, and we'll chat next time.
Thank you for watching our video. We invite you to leave a comment, hit the like button, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. You can also visit our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest pages, or find all of those things and our online store at fabricpatch.net.